Hey everybody, so I want to give you guys an update on this pregnancy and what has been going on. If you follow me on Facebook, you pretty much already know what's been going on, but I want to get my YouTubers all caught up as well. So I'm going to backtrack a ton for you guys and kind of get you updated as quickly as possible, and hopefully get as much information in as possible. So the last thing you guys heard from me was my 7-week update, which is possibly going to be changing. But it was my 7-week update, and I said I was going to be having an ultrasound that following Monday, which I would have been 7 weeks and 2 days. And we go to that ultrasound, and, she starts looking around, and all she is seeing is, she first of all is seeing 2 gestational sacs. One is much larger than the other. And in the larger one, she's seeing a small yolk sac up in the top left-hand corner. So she's, saying that for the dates that I'm, showing or telling her that I'm almost confident that these are my dates, she's, instantly going the negative Nancy route and starts, saying she doesn't think this looks good, and, starts throwing around the miscarriage word, and she doesn't think it's going to be a viable pregnancy, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking in my head, I already don't like this lady. She doesn't have any hope for me, and I'm not impressed. She's also doesn't seem to be very good at the whole ultrasound thing, because she's not very aggressive. Doesn't seem to be looking around hard enough. And I'm thinking all these things in my head, obviously not saying anything to her. But, yeah, so basically at that appointment, we only saw the gestational sac measuring 6 weeks and 6 weeks and 4 days. 6 weeks and 4 days. And at that time, I thought I was 7 weeks and 2 days. So 5 days off, which, you could be that whole week, give or take sort of a situation. But she still, wasn't very confident in whatever. And then the second sac was, like I said, completely empty. I don't know if I said that. No, I don't think I did. But it was completely empty and much smaller than the first. So she was thinking that it probably started out as a twin pregnancy, but that sac will probably just disappear and probably won't be there the next time we do an ultrasound. So I'm like, okay, but at least there's the one that's, was growing from the last time. I mean, I'm asking her these questions. I said, at least it's growing, right? That's a good thing. And she's saying, yeah, it's a good thing that it's growing, but it's not growing at, the correct rate, and blah, blah, blah. And she's still throwing around the not viable word and everything. So basically the appointment, sums up that, we're not able to find the baby. The only thing we're able to see is a very small yolk sac, and she wants me to go do some blood work. So I went and did the blood work, and that was Monday, I think around 3 p.m. So we go and do that, and then she wants me to do, another one 48 hours out. So that would have been Wednesday afternoon. And I went and did that. And both those results came back at incredibly high numbers. First one was 38,373, and then the Wednesday results came back at 40,100 and something. I can't remember exactly the final number, but I know it was 40,000. So she emails me and says, the numbers are going up, which is good, but it's not going up the way that I want it to go. It's not rising as fast as I think it should, is basically what she says. And I've done my Googling, I've done my research, I've talked to a ton of women, and, I know that, the higher your number, the longer it takes for it to double, or the longer it takes for the number to rise, basically. So, I'm not worried, and I basically email her back saying, at least the number's going up. That's all I really wanted to see, and I'm staying as positive as possible. And I also asked her to schedule me a high-tech ultrasound with radiology, because I just wasn't confident in her ultrasound skills. I wasn't in the confident in the machine. I was thinking, maybe the machine's old or whatever. So I asked her to do that for me, and she did. So I have another ultrasound scheduled for the 30th of July for a high-tech ultrasound. But before that, she also scheduled me another rescan at her office that was today. So after we did, you know, the last ultrasound and then my blood work and everything, I was like, I was trying to stay as positive as absolutely possible, but I was so nervous that something was wrong and, you know, the baby wasn't going to develop, or, you know, we were going to miscarry again, or, you know, all these thoughts are in my head. I'm like, that whole week, this past week, I was in this fog of distraction, and it's like I was Googling like crazy, which I tried to stay away from, but it seems impossible. And it's like today could not come fast enough, basically. So today comes, and today is the 22nd of July, and my doctor calls me at about 11 a.m. and wants me to do a third beta draw before my appointment so that she could have the results. And I was like, okay, that's fine. She puts it on like a super stat rush so that, you know, the results are back in time, because that was only like 2.5 hours before my appointment. So I'm going to grab a drink of my water. So, you know, I go and do that, and then my mom had come into town and was taking Tara for the afternoon and possibly the night, which she ended up taking her for the whole night. But, and we went shopping and took my mind off of it, because, you know, having another blood draw was like another thing that I had to think about, and another thing that I had to hope for, and it's like I don't think my body could take any more, like, praying and hoping and thinking, trying to be positive, and it's like, it was so much. It was just like, it was weighing me down so much. But basically, we get to today's appointment, and she starts doing her thing, starts doing the vaginal ultrasound, and she doesn't let me see the screen, first of all. She wants to do her part, her measuring and her viewing first, before she turns the screen and lets me see it. And that took about 2-ish minutes, and I'm, you know, sitting there, I'm telling her that, you know, she can go in as far as she wants, she can move that thing around, and I mean, it's probably going to be uncomfortable, but I don't care. I want to see something this time. I want answers. I want to know what's going on. I can't take this anymore, is what I'm telling her, basically. She's like, okay, well, you just let me know if you're uncomfortable or anything like that. And I'm like, don't worry about me. I will be just fine. And so that, like I said, was about 2 minutes of her doing her scanning around. And then she says, you know, I'm thinking the worst in my head, obviously. I always do. I'm trying to stay positive, but, you know, it's like hard when you've already had miscarriages. The ladies out there that have had miscarriages, you know probably exactly how I was feeling today. But she says, I am seeing a whole lot more than I saw last week. And I'm like, oh, praise the Lord Jesus. Oh my God. I was like so excited. I didn't even know what she was seeing at that moment, but I was already like, I just felt so much better. And she goes on to say, you know, maybe we had my dates wrong. And I was like, yeah, it sounds like I had my dates wrong. And she turns the screen to us and she lets us see what she's seeing. And she's like, okay, well, here's the gestational sac. It's much larger than last time. And then we have the yolk sac is still there, and it's much more defined and dark this time and much larger than it was. And then up in the corner over here was our little baby. We have a baby in there. And it had a heartbeat and everything, you guys. I'm so excited. It was just absolutely surreal. It was like, I was amazed, and I felt like literally 1,000 pounds was taken off of my shoulders. I can't even explain it, but like I said, the women out there who have been through a loss or multiple losses, you probably know exactly what I'm going through, and you know exactly how that feels when you finally get that good news. So, yeah, basically everything is looking good. The heart rate is measuring at 117 beats per minute, which is fine for where I'm measuring at, which is only 6 weeks and 6 days. So that's a week and 2 days off from what I thought I was. So I definitely, like, you know, probably the egg probably fertilized a little bit later than, you know, I thought, and then I probably implanted a little later than I thought. So that's where my dates got wrong, I guess. I have no idea. That's the problem with going in for early ultrasounds is, I guess you can, it causes a lot of undue stress, and I don't think I'll be doing it again next time. But, you know, things happen, and babies are tricky little suckers. So she prints us out a picture, and I'll show you guys that of what we saw. Here is our little baby right there, and you can see the little arm buds, and let me try and get the glare. The little arm buds there, and when I upload the actual ultrasound footage for you guys, you'll be able to see when she's scanning around. You can actually see little leg buds too, which is really awesome. And we got to hear the heartbeat, which you'll be able to see or hear in the ultrasound footage as well. And then as far as the second sac goes, it's still there. And it's still, oh, sorry, my husband's outside. It's still there, and it's bigger than it was last time, but it's still empty. She looked around and looked around and looked around and didn't see anything inside. So she's still saying that it possibly started as a twin pregnancy, but the second baby just never developed. Nothing ever became of it. And, you know, my body's probably just still going to absorb that sac, absorb that pregnancy. But she wants me to still keep my my radiology ultrasound, my high-tech ultrasound for the 30th, and see what they can see, if anything's changed or any of that. And then she also wants me to come back into her office after she gets back from vacation in a couple of weeks and kind of go from there. Hopefully she says that, you know, if that sac does, hopefully it turns into something. She's, you know, saying that, you know, it is possible, but, you know, you never know. But hopefully, either way, doesn't matter what happens, that she just doesn't want it to cause any problems later on in pregnancies. But I didn't ask her what that meant. I was kind of like floating on cloud 9 right now, and I wasn't really hearing her anymore. I was just looking at my little picture of my little baby and not paying attention to the rest of the appointment. So, yeah, that's basically where we're at. And now I'm going to have to change my due date, because now I'm off over a week. She actually changed my due date for me. It's now March 11th, 2014, and my dates are now going to turn over on Tuesdays, because today is Monday and I'm 6 weeks, 6 days. So yeah, they'll date my weeks will turn over on Tuesdays, which is a work day, but I'll make do. I'll figure it out. And I think that's pretty much it. I will, you know, do my second 7-week vlog tomorrow, since I will be 7 weeks tomorrow. And I'll, you know, I'll change the dates of my last vlogs, because I don't want to delete them. Those were my true symptoms and true feelings from those weeks, but it's just a week or so different from what I thought I was. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, you guys. I don't want to get this video to be too much longer. I will upload that ultrasound footage. It'll probably be up before this video is, because it's only like a minute long, so it'll take just a second to upload. And I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you guys have any questions at all, I feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer as best to my ability. If you guys are going through this same thing or have any questions regarding this issue, you know, dates being off, not seeing the baby, or, you know, anything like that, yeah, just ask, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.